A major factor leading to the collapse in the economy was the purchases of houses on subprime mortgage loans. Now, many of these people find they owe more than what the house is worth and are voluntarily walking away from their obligations. Following the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks and the subsequent economic downturn, the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates, encouraging people to borrow cheap money. This influx of cheap cash lowered mortgage rates to all-time lows. As the housing market boomed, banks began to lend adjustable rate and subprime mortgage loans to people who had bad credit and could not pay them back. These loans were then sold to big Wall Street firms who packaged and sold them as mortgage-backed securities. Firms like Bear Stearns took these mortgage-backed securities and rated them as AAA safe investments. Mortgage-backed securities were then purchased by people, organizations, and governments all over the world. They were bought because they looked safe and had a high yield. Yields on these investments would continue to go up, assuming the housing boom continued. It didn't.
Good morning. To answer your question, Marcel, about how the subprime housing situation has impacted somebody like myself, who, as you know, is a homeowner, unfortunately, to cut to the chase, the net result that about 5 or 6 years ago, we had a house that was worth about $700,000, and here we are today, and it's worth about $500,000. So essentially, it's an investment that to some degree got diminished dramatically, okay? And the ability to resell it is more difficult, and then on top of that, it will resell at a much lower price. We're still lucky because we're still above water, as they say. We still, we owe less on it than what it's worth on the market. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are not in that situation, that do owe more on their house than what it's worth on the market, and it pays off for them to sometimes just walk away from it. The other part of it is that psychologically it has taken what has been traditionally a safe investment. There was nothing more respected than owning real estate as a solid, safe investment moving forward. That has become very shaky now. When people think about how best to invest their money, real estate may no longer be the best way to go, at least for the foreseeable future. Maybe that might come back down the road. So somebody might take a look at investing in the stock market, in bonds, in a business, in something, but the idea that you invest in land or housing, whether commercial or residential, is going to start bringing consistent, steady, and increasing returns over the years, that has kind of gone out the window for now. So it's impacted how I myself would consider making investments in the future, where instead of buying a house, as you know, we're going to be selling ours and moving on, I may consider not buying a house, just renting and taking my money and investing it somewhere else that could have potentially greater returns. So that impacts the housing market for many years to come. But the biggest problem we have now is we have to clear out inventory, because there's a lot of houses on the market and foreclosure, are sitting there, are not selling. The drop in the economy and people being out of work does not help in terms of being able to make the commitment to a house. So until that inventory clears out, we're going to have a housing problem probably for a few more years at least.